All right, guys, well, this one is a big deal. KTM, one of the biggest brands in adventure bikes, dirt bikes in the MotoGP world, has just filed for bankruptcy. Then, barely a month later, they announced a massive company-wide sale on all of their motorcycles across their entire lineup. So what the heck is going on with KTM motorcycles? Is this just the beginning, or is this part of the end for KTM? Can they still turn this around? In this video, we're going to break that down and more. Let's do this. For a little bit of a background, last year, KTM's parent company, PR Mobility, filed for insolvency. Basically, it's just a fancy way of saying that they're out of money and they needed to restructure. And actually, their business, PR Mobility, is based in Austria. And in Austria, you can't actually just file for bankruptcy. Restructuring is actually one of the prerequisite steps to eventually get to bankruptcy. So they're actually required to restructure and basically do everything they can in order to potentially stay afloat. What does that look like for PR Mobility? Well, they basically have a massive debt of 2.9 billion euros. That is over $3 billion US, and that's not pocket change. And so in addition to that, things are actually going to get a little bit worse, because in addition to the $3 billion in debt that they have about 265,000 unsold motorcycles that are just sitting in warehouses. So now fast forward to this year, and we're seeing KTM launch a huge company-wide sale of their entire lineup of motorcycles. And that's not normal. Motorcycle brands don't just do blanket sale of all of their motorcycles across the board at once. And so yeah, right now I would say it's not looking good for KTM motorcycles. Okay, but you're probably asking, how did we get here? KTM has been killing it in the off-road and adventure bike world. They've got an insane presence in MotoGP. Their bikes are known for being high-performance machines that are absolute monsters. They are a ton of fun to ride. So what's the problem? Well, a few things probably led to this mess. First and foremost is going to be overproduction. You see, KTM ramped up production expecting massive demand, but then the economy actually slowed and those bikes just didn't sell. They've got warehouses full of unsold inventory, and now they're trying to incentivize customers to try and purchase these motorcycles at a discount. In addition to that, you have rising costs and debt. You see, PR Mobility, their parent company, took on a massive debt to expand KTM's operations, but then with supply chain issues and higher production costs, that strategy has backfired on them. And then third, competition is tougher than ever. You see, brands like Honda, Yamaha, or even smaller brands like Gas, which ironically is a brand under the PR Mobility umbrella, are eating into KTM's market share. Gone are the days when KTM motorcycles could just release a new bike and it was going to be popular simply because they were a little bit more gritty, they were the cool guys on the block. Now all of a sudden you have fierce competition in the dirt bike, in the off-road, and in the superbike category that is eating into KTM's market share. And then fourth and finally, you have MotoGP spending. You see, KTM's involvement in MotoGP is not cheap, and it looks like they're burning a ton of cash just trying to be competitive. And there's actually rumors that KTM has actually frozen any future development in MotoGP, which makes sense considering they are in a cash burn situation and they need to do everything they can to save money. Could this be the end for KTM motorcycles? All right, well, here's where things are going to get spicy. Could this actually be the end for KTM motorcycles? Could we actually see a brand like KTM motorcycles die off completely? Well, part of me doesn't think so. So I think KTM still has a chance. They still have hope, but they've got to play their cards right. The next few months are absolutely essential for KTM motorcycles. And I think here's what I think needs to happen for KTM motorcycles to basically survive the next few months. First and foremost, and this seems to be the primary strategy that KTM is after right now, is they are going to need a bailout or a major investor. Right now, there is a rumor that there is 23 potential investors that are lined up and considering bailing KTM out of this really dire circumstance that they have themselves in. That would obviously be the ideal scenario for KTM. It would kind of be a get-rich-quick scheme, but always investment capital comes with strings attached. And so we're going to get into that a little bit later in the video. One thing that I would love to see is they have to fix their inventory problem on their own. You see this fire sale, it's a start, but I would say that KTM needs to sell bikes strategically and not just dump them at a hard loss. You see, one of the things that happens when you start to sell bikes just at a sale across the board is you actually sacrifice what's called rider confidence. And KTM is going to need to rebuild their rider confidence. And let's be real, when a company starts drowning like this, people, including myself, are hesitant to purchase that motorcycle. And for those of you guys that have been on this channel for a while, you know that I am a proud owner of a KTM 500 EXCF. I got it about a year ago. But if I were purchasing a brand new motorcycle right now, I would have serious pause of purchasing a KTM because I don't know what the future of that motorcycle company is going to look like. And look, people are going to hesitate when they're dropping 10, 11, 12, or even up to $20,000 on a motorcycle because they want to know that this brand is going to be around. Part availability is going to be a real thing, that they can find people to service it, and even the resale value of these motorcycles is going to hold up over time. So then last, I think KTM, in the middle of all of this, regardless of if they have investment capital come in, if they can find a strategy to rebuild rider confidence, KTM needs to do what KTM does best, and that is focusing on their lightweight, high performance, no BS motorcycles. I think KTM needs to double down and really dive into the dirt bike, adventure bike, and MotoGP community and slash and burn everything else that is not absolutely essential to what their brand is and what the customers of KTM have come to love. So what's next for KTM? Honestly, I think the next 6 to 12 months, as I said, are going to be crucial. Either they're going to lock down investors, cut their losses and survive, or things are going to get really, really ugly for KTM pretty fast. Can a brand like KTM actually go away? I don't think so. I think at the end of the day, realistically, if KTM isn't able to secure outside investment to purchase or bail them out of this scenario, I think realistically what would happen is a brand like Honda or Yamaha would come in, or even a Chinese motorcycle manufacturer would purchase them, move all of the production overseas, and help to keep the brand of KTM alive, very similar to what we've seen with other brands and motorcycle companies. But I don't think any real KTM fan wants that. I think unanimously from the motorcycle community right now, we're all rooting that KTM can fix their own problems without another company coming and taking them in and rolling them underneath their brand. I want to hear your thoughts in the comments. Is this just a temporary speed bump, or are we witnessing the slow death of KTM motorcycles? I would love to hear what you guys have to say. And one thing I will say is, look, if you're in the market for a new motorcycle and you want a motorcycle at a discount, right now might be an opportunity for you to purchase a KTM motorcycle at a 10 to 15% discount. I'm sure there's even going to be dealerships that are subsidizing it even more, but I would strongly urge you guys to have some caution when walking into a motorcycle purchase of that magnitude when the future of KTM motorcycles is uncertain at this time. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you have liked this motorcycle content, please give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment down below. Would love to hear what you guys are thinking. And as always, if there's any later breaking news to this KTM motorcycle update, I will be sure to let you guys know. Thanks for tuning in. Till we meet again. Peace.